Good time here, and we're tasting some really nice wine with some wonderful food at Kelly's Prime Steak and Seafood and SIMI Wines. Our third wine is a wine that started out as what we call a blending grape. That's Merlot. And it was used to simply add a little bit of body and a little bit of tannin and tone down some of the acidity in Cabernet Sauvignon in France. And then it kind of grew. And the next thing you know, every winery in the country has a vineyard with Merlot in it, and they don't have enough Cabernet to blend it, so they start bottling it by itself. So now we have a very popular wine. If you saw that movie
Sideways,
Merlot was a featured varietal in that movie.
for you non-wine nerds, right? And you guys are getting to know I'm a little nerdy now. In the movie, he says, "I don't drink Merlot," and he hates Cab Franc. And then he says his favorite wine in the world is this wine called Chateau Ausson, and it is all Cab Franc and Merlot.
That's right.
Yep.
Blended together.
Yep.
So he speaks with forked tongue. You know what I mean? But anyway, here's the point. Merlot is an outstanding varietal on its own. And tonight we have one that has a little bit of help, if you will, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but they've added about 2% Cabernet Sauvignon with this, and it was fermented in stainless steel, which I think is a good thing for a red wine, and then it's put into a little bit of oak for about 22 months. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so the reason they do that is because fermenting it in the stainless steel helps keep the character and the natural terroir of the wine. And it allows them to better influence how much oak they want to do. When you ferment the wine in oak barrels, it leaves you with a little less play. So this gives Steve Reeder's the winemaker at SIMI, it gives him a little more opportunity to decide how this wine is going to end up.
That's good, and I think he's done a great job. Now, here's what's happened. The chef has taken some king crab. Everybody knows about king crab, king crab legs, cook it, take the crab meat out of the shell, and with that, he's taken a nice little mushy-roomy room and stuffed that crab into the mushroom. Now, you taste a little bit of that with this Merlot, and you go, holy cow, I thought Merlot only went with steaks. Don't you think a lot of people feel that way?
I would be sad for them less,
Yeah.
Because Merlot is one of the greatest varietals in the world. It got a lull after that sideways thing. Pinot Noir had this huge explosion of sales.
Yeah.
And Merlot took a huge dip, but we finally, thankfully, grown past that. And I think Merlot is one of those varietals that truly showcases where it's from. It's what makes it unique, what makes it fantastic. And you can use it as a blending grape, or you can have it be 100% Merlot. And in Bordeaux in France, the left bank, where you have a lot of the famous first grows, they use Merlot as a blending grape. But on the right bank, they use Merlot as the main grape.
Right.
In Washington, if you drink Merlot from Washington, most people think it's Cabernet. It's so big, it's so bold. Merlot from California is very soft and supple and velvety. It's just one of those varietals that really showcases where it's from. It's absolutely one of my favorite reds.
Well, one thing about Merlot, and this is probably going to surprise a lot of you, when you start pairing it with food, one of the things that Merlot goes really well with is poultry.
Absolutely.
Now you think poultry, wait a minute, that's white meat and we're supposed to have white wine. Well, that's back in the 60s when we didn't know any better. This is 2013. Try the two. You'll be amazed at how that works. A little bit of red meat it goes with. You can barbecue or whatever. Also some pork or pastas or even some kinds of salads. Merlot goes very, very well with. Time flies when you're having a good time. I want to thank you for listening to Wines du Jour, America's #1 syndicated wine radio show. We're here at this very same time each week, and if you've enjoyed tonight's program, tell everyone you know, because I want you to know that my favorite subjects, if you're interested, are on my website, leskincade.com, or, leskincade.com. That's it. I want to thank Kelly's Prime Steak and Seafood for their help tonight and with the chef. I want to thank Hamilton Gilberg for SIMI Winery and all of his information. My broadcast engineer, Jeremy Knight. Carl Magno of VAsianTV and High Definition for making television in Las Vegas and on Cox Cable, DirecTV, and all over Asia happen. Thanks for choosing and listening to Wines du Jour from the left coast, from the east coast, and all around the world on the radio. internet, and on television, I'm Les Kincaid. Good night, everybody.